Ну зачем? Почему вы? За что вы воюете? Нам пообіцяли клаптик землі і 2 раба.
The trouble with talking about Russian propaganda is that the word propaganda is no longer the best word to use. Propaganda means, Russia promoting itself, and actually what Russia does now is something much more complicated and sophisticated. The Russians try to undermine the sense that there can be any truth at all. So, for example, when the Malaysian plane crashed in Ukraine, the Russian media came up with a dozen different explanations. It was a Ukrainian plane, it was a sniper, it was many different explanations. And they try to destroy the idea that there can be such a thing as good objective journalism. And in a world where media is becoming weaker, traditional media, they are capable of undermining the idea of truth itself, and that's why it's very important that people continue to practice good journalism.
Мы приехали с Одессы, у нас поднялся весь народ против фашистской власти, которая захватила Киев.
It's already created a war. I mean, there would be no war in Ukraine if it hadn't been for successful propaganda, Russian propaganda, and if it could keep the war going or make it worse.
Презираю Майдан. Выходят наемники за деньги, выходят бомжи, люди такого, социальные отбросы, разведенные, злые, безработные. Таких в любом городе полно, тем более Киев, столица.
It's not really Russia doing it. It's Putin is doing it in order to stay in power. So this is Putin needs to stay in power. He's not democratically elected, and so he needs other tools to make sure that he's legitimate. He's not a legitimate president and that he's not chosen by the people. So he needs to use other methods in order to stay in power, and this is what he's chosen to do. Democracy really only works if it has people, active citizens who are directly involved who understand how things work in the government and follow it and push for changes and are somehow participating in the political process. And that's the really most important thing for Ukraine to do today.